weed makes people a bum, a slave, and a evil person to be around. Now, you may think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. And I'm not asking your opinion. I'm not asking you to agree or to confirm or to co-sign. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking for your opinion. I know. Because I was a person that used to smoke weed daily. Every day I used to wake up, it was the first thing I did. And weed is not a minor drug. You know, even though the government has declassed it and stuff, weed is not a minor drug or something to be played with, yeah? And anyone that smoked weed for a certain amount of time, yeah, they know, yeah, what is it? That weed, yeah, is a demotivating bum, yeah, bumming out, what is it? Demotivating, yeah, drug. And it also makes you a wretch. I'm going to say this. Weed makes you a wretch. It makes you an irritable person. It makes you a frustrated person. But the thing is this, yeah, the reason why people don't say this, yeah, or admit is this, yeah, no one likes to think of themselves as a slave or addict or weed junkie. No one likes to think of themselves as that way. But the fact is this. Most people who smoke weed, yeah, smoke it regularly, they could not give up weed because their willpower is this high, and the weed's willpower, the nicotine pull is this high. Yeah, very few people out of the large people that smoke weed, yeah, can get up and just leave it. Most people, the weed that they're smoking and stuff, it doesn't even buzz them anymore. They don't get any buzz out of it. They don't even get any high out of it anymore. It's just become part of them. Yeah? It's just become part of them because they smoke it every day. They've become dependent on it. And now what is that they can't walk away from it, because every time they try to give up, yeah? Every time they try to give up, the weed keeps calling them back. Yeah? And the thing is this. Most people, because like, weed really makes you rich, but you don't know because you have access to weed. So what happens is that basically the person who smokes weed regularly is an addict. But the reason why you don't see their evil nature, yeah, come out, yeah, which weed gives them, yeah, is because they can get a fix. They can get weed from this person close by, or that person close by, or that person close by. But when you're in jail, for example, unfortunately I've been in jail, but when people are in a place where they can't always get weed, then you really see the effects of weed, yeah? Then you really see the effects of weed. Because what will happen, there's certain people in jail and they smoke weed daily, yeah? And when there's a drought and these people can't get weed and they can't, you know, or their money's not coming through from, or whatever, for whatever reason, whether the people can't get access to weed, yeah? Then you see certain people, you'll see them. We used to call them cats. Yeah, I don't know what they call them now, you know. But even people, even weed addicts know they're addicts because they come up with certain terms. And like I said, I don't know the new terms and stuff, but there used to be terms like roasting. But the term cat, yeah, basically meant someone, yeah, because there used to be people that go around prison, yeah. They're people from road with big name and so forth. They'll go around looking around, yeah, because there's no weed and stuff like that. And they'd be picking up people's butts from the floor. You know, when someone smokes a cigarette or a spliff and then chucks it away, then the people will walk around trying to find other people's butts, yeah, just to light it up, and get a few pulls out of the last couple of pulls out of someone's new, you know, used cigarette end, or, you know, or spliff end, that someone's saliva and has been in their mouth and this, that, and the other. You know, you'll see man picking it up and trying to light up and smoke. But the only reason why people don't know how much of wretch, yeah, a person is when they're catting, when they're dying, when they're roasting, when they're dying to get their weed, yeah, because they smoke it every day. When you smoke weed every day, it becomes part of you. You need it like oxygen, and if you don't have it, you're very irritated. You're very frustrated. You're very snappy, you know. And any of you guys that have lived out in the hostels, yeah, if you've lived in the hostels, you know, you'll know in a lot of hostels people smoke weed, and everyone's always asking you got a draw, you got a draw, you got a draw, you got a draw. But let there be a drought. Let there be a drought in a hostel, yeah, or a drought in a certain area, and those people that live in that hostel and stuff like that, you know, they're snappy. A person without their weed who smokes weed regularly and so forth, they can be one of the most irritative, most frustrated, most angry, most. And that's the thing. When you're a cat or when you're roasting, yeah, the people that you spend the people that are close to you and you live by and you hang around with, you start switching on them. You start being very impatient with them. Why? Because you haven't got your fix, you haven't got your weed, you haven't got your oxygen. Yeah. So what happens is that you just feel like a wretch. You're burning mentally, you're burning physically inside, and you're burning mentally inside because you ain't got your fix. So when you're having conversations with people, you start lashing out on them for no reason and having to apologize or not even apologizing, you know? So weed is not a light drug, yeah? Weed is not a light drug. You know, even the other day, there was a clip by one of these, there was a clip the other day by, I think, who is it? RDAH. I don't know because I don't listen to music. I'm Muslim. I don't listen to music, and I'm happy without it. I don't need it in my life, and I'm not dependent on it. And I'm happy that I don't. Like, I'm a happy person without it. And they were basically saying, even though they got different properties and so forth, yeah, he can't stay in any of these properties by himself because smoking weed, yeah, has made him so paranoid that when he's in these big houses by himself, he keeps thinking that he's hearing noises.
Yeah, a lot of things changed. Obviously, I bought a house. I bought a couple of houses. I tried moving out my mum's house. I fucking hate it. I keep ending up back at my mum's house. I still got
Really?
my house, but I don't like being on my own. You know what
Why?
I'm saying? So I've still not grew up
What
that
do you
much.
not like about it? That's interesting.
I'm just not trying to be sat in my house on my own at 12 o'clock at night playing PlayStation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hearing noises, getting paranoid because I smoke too much weed and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
now the thing is, when he said this, yeah, he done some kind of little fake laugh after because really he's admitted that he's got this big problem of paranoia from smoking weed, yeah, and he has to laugh it off because he's obviously a guy, and you know, if you say what your problems are in public, then people will say you're a wimp, you're soft, you're feminine, and whatever, and so forth. But the fact is that he actually said that he can't stay in these big houses that he owns or these homes that he owns and so forth because when he smokes weed, he gets paranoid. And this is one thing that people don't talk about. Like I said, people try and act like weed is a recreational drug, like it's a minor, it doesn't do anything. No. Weed does cause people paranoia and it does mess with their head. Yeah? And it's not a little minor drug. Like, weed is not like drinking water like it's nothing. Yeah? Because even many other people have said this, but whenever they do this, they never talk about it seriously because they don't want to be, as a man, they don't want to look soft, yeah. So they try to dismiss it. They try to like dismiss it like he did. He said, "Look, I don't really want to be staying at my mum's house, yeah, playing games, yeah, and smoking weed because when I hear noises at night time, yeah, and I'm in I'm by myself, I get paranoid. So I find out." Think about this. This grown man, this rich grown rapper, yeah, with resources, money and resources, yeah. Because we all know it's easy when you got money and resources to get help for your problem, yeah. But this guy who's a rapper who raps on these big festivals in front of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, you know, and so forth, yeah. This rapper, yeah, is saying that I cannot, yeah, stay on my own in buildings, yeah, because when I smoke weed, I hear noises, and it sincerely and literally, yeah, makes me scared. So I have to stay at my mum's. I have to stay at my mum's house as a grown adult. I have to stay at my mum's house because when I'm alone in buildings, yeah, and I hear noises because I smoke weed, it makes me think. I get frightened. Not frightened as in a joke or a prank. I cannot be in a building on my own. Yeah, like I'm over 20. Yeah, I cannot be in a building on my own because when I smoke weed, I literally get scared. So I have to stay with my mum. This is not funny. This is not a slight joke. This is not a minor thing. This is a serious thing. This grown adult man, most probably he's a millionaire or, you know, has hundreds of thousands and so forth. He's admitting I can't stay at my own places, yeah, because weed makes me paranoid. And I have to be with my mother. That's not funny, man. What about all the you know, less fortunate people who live on council estates? What about all the broke people that live on council estates, yeah, working paycheck from paycheck, yeah, who don't have resources and don't have friends in high places, you know, and access to all the places that he does. Of course they're what is it? Of course, what about a person who's living alone on a council estate? They're working from paycheck to paycheck. They don't have these resources. What do they do? What can they do? Go to their mum's house. Say their mum's dead. Say their mum's dead and they're living on a council estate on their own and they're smoking weed. Weed is not a joke, man. It's a big problem. Yeah, you know, in the community, it's a big problem. But everyone just keeps playing it down like it's a minor, like it's nothing, like it's just like drinking water. Weed is not a joke, man. Ice Cube made a film. I'm not advising any. If you ain't seen it, I'm not advising you to watch it. He made it many decades ago. Yeah, and this is why people say whenever you criticize weed, people always try to say, it doesn't affect me this way. It doesn't. Well, we're not talking about exceptions to the rule. Weed makes people paranoid. It's an actual thing that it does, whether you like it or not, or whether you want to make excuses or not. Weed makes people paranoid, and everyone knows this. For example, Ice Cube. Everyone knows that weed makes you paranoid. See, people like to play like weed is some minor drug. It's just like drinking water. It's a minor thing. You know, the government declassed it, yeah, and that was irresponsible of the government because now you're telling everyone, you know, that but you just smoke weed, ain't it? It's not really that bad. It's such a minor thing, yeah, that we're gonna de-lower it. We're gonna illegally lower it, lower the rate, the rank of harmful effects of weed. Yeah, and we're gonna tell the whole world, the government that controls the country, yeah. And you've added to the problem because what the situation now is that everyone just acts like weed is minor. The government's showing through its actions that weed is a minor, but weed properly meshes up people's lives. Years ago, Ice Cube made the film. If you don't know what it is, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, and I don't advise you to watch it. But Ice Cube knew. Ice Cube is one of the, I would say, in the black community, he's basically he's basically one of the biggest filmmakers. He understands, yeah, how to sell movies, you know, the feeling of people coming from poor, the inner cities, and all. Ice Cube knows about black people. He knows about lower class people, white and black. He knows about basically, you know, coming from the ends or, you know, the hoods or whatever, this, that, the other. Now the thing is this, in Ice Cube's movie, yeah, basically, there's a part where he's smoking weed, yeah? And basically, after he starts smoking weed, there's like this statue of a dog, statue of a dog. And basically, he keeps hearing noises there after he smoked the weed of like that statue making noises. So he looks at the statue He hears a noise. He turns and looks at the statue, but it's a statue. It doesn't move. It's it's a inanimate, inanimate object. Yeah, and basically, it's like he keeps on turning away from it and hearing like wolf, you know, uh, uh, keeps hearing the noises that dogs make, so he keeps on turning to it. Now, the reason why Ice Cube could do that, because Ice Cube knows, yeah, that when you smoke weed, weed makes you paranoid, and you think you're hearing noises, and you certain objects are doing certain things, or you just basically know that, where is it? You know, you keep hearing things and seeing things. Ice Cube. The reason why Ice Cube put that piece in his movie is because Ice Cube knew through smoking weed himself, yeah, that enough people will be able to relate to that part in a film, yeah, because enough people, just like him when they were smoking weed, they became paranoid, yeah. So he wouldn't include that part in a movie. As a genius filmmaker, you know, he wouldn't put this part in his movie, yeah, if he didn't know that there was enough people to relate to it. If he thought it was only his personal experience where he smoked weed and he got paranoid, he wouldn't put it in, because like the rest of the people wouldn't get it. Like whenever you say that weed makes people paranoid, there's all these heroes always trying to come and say, "Oh, well, I don't get paranoid," all this stuff, who are lying anyway. Like, but the point is this, yeah, there's always exceptions to the rule, but the general thing is that weed makes people paranoid. That's why Ice Cube put in his movie, because he knew enough people would relate to it, yeah, and it would be a good part in a movie for him because everyone would start laughing. But that fact that he put that part of that movie proves that it's not just a one-off. It's not just him. It's not. There's a one weed. When you smoke weed and so forth, it makes you paranoid. That's just a fact of it. You want to defend it and be a hero, whatever, and so forth. But there's a million other bad things about weed. Yeah, how it messes you up and so forth. But I went into that in another video, and you can check it out in a playlist. So anyway, all I just wanted to say, weed is not a joke. Try and get off it if you can. You know, it's not a thing to be joke with. It makes you bum. It makes you a slave. It makes you irritable. When you don't have your weed and you're around people, yeah, you start being rude to them and so forth. You start being annoying to them. You know. So yeah, try and get help for it.